Welcome, man, to another lovely episode of the Fourth Rounders podcast. I go by Tweez, and I'm with my brother William, and we got a couple special guests with us today. We doing a fourth round podcast, literally. We got a couple brothers, man. I'm gonna start off. I got my brother Eric, and I got my brother Ron. How you guys doing today?
Raiders.
Oh my
How we
gosh.
doing?
Hey,
You
low
think
key,
that
We're gonna talk
53
about
point,
it.
baby?
We're gonna talk
You
about
think
it.
that
We're gonna
53
talk.
point?
oh man. Oh
He
god,
gonna need an
baby.
ISO later. Just let y'all know he gonna need
Oh
an
no, so like
ISO.
this, we get that off. We get that off the rip. That was
Yeah,
crazy.
no.
That was for sure crazy. But yeah, man, everybody good?
Yeah, we get. And I gotta say, I was listening to y'all podcast that you guys did last week while I was at Disney. I got my Darth Vader T-shirt on right now. It says "I'm your father." Yeah, just for tweets right there. But anyway, I was listening. I was listening to your podcast and I heard you said that I went up to dunk on you and you smacked the ball or something like that. You broke my arm. Do these pythons look like they broken to you, bro? I don't know about what you talk about. These pythons look. Oh,
Will, I was worried about you, man. I called Lily and I was like, Lily, is he in the hospital? Like, is he good? Like, because Tweet says he broke your ankles. He said that when you came down, he gave you that Draymond Green stomp to the chest. And I was worried about you, but it looks like you're doing good.
I'm doing good. I'm doing great. So I don't know what he talking about.
All right.
I don't know what he talking about.
Yeah, I got a quick question for you, William.
Yeah, go ahead.
One question. Okay, you got pythons. When's the last time you did leg day?
I do leg day once a week. You have to do leg day. You can't be lifting weights and stuff and skip out on leg day.
I'm just making sure.
You gonna look weird.
Yeah, I was just saying. You say, I'm saying. You was like, oh, I got the gun. I'm just trying to make sure you did leg day.
Yeah, the best workout for leg day is bench pressing. Just to let you know. So just
crazy.
No, crazy. I do leg day once a week. So yeah, don't worry about all that.
All right.
But I do got something I gotta say though. Now we just gotta start it off with it real quick. I was listening to the podcast. I was listening to you guys do your segments and all that stuff, and that was all fine. It was all fine. But somebody on the podcast last week said something a little out of pocket that they need to rethink their opinion, rethink their thoughts on this.
Okay,
Eric, Eric, hey yo, what are you talking about? You said the Cowboys are on the same level as the 49ers. What?
Okay,
the Cowboys are sick. First of all, I didn't say they're on the same level.
What happened this last week? You said they are the same thing. Did you see what happened this last week with the Bills?
I didn't say
Boys got ran.
Repeat.
What are you talking about? Bro, the Niners are on level 1,000 and then everybody else is 50 and below. Okay. So sir. You look, I guess, the Cowboys got good players, but they ain't the Niners, sir. If you look at every position, we probably beat them in most positions. No matter offense or defense, we got better players all around. There's a couple positions that you can argue that they got people that are better, but all around, come on, buddy. You can't do that.
Will, you can't just speak as a delusional 49er fan, all right? We're talking football, all right? So look, please fact check me, please. But the 49ers are 10-4, or what are they? Where are they at?
They're 11-3.
11-3. Okay, cool. What about the Cowboys?
10-4.
It's only a one game difference.
Who the four losses come from? They lost to the Cardinals. We smacked them.
Okay.
They lost to us. We smacked them. They lost to who else did they lose to? They just lost to the Bills. We haven't.
You guys also lost to
horrible.
You guys also lost to the Bears. So I mean,
we were healthy.
With your logic,
we were a healthy team. It's okay, but when you see the Niners as a healthy team, it's all bad, bro.
Look, Will. I wasn't talking trash to 49ers. And first of all, I never said the Cowboys were as good as the 49ers. I just said every team meets a certain team in the NFL where they just can't get over that hump, right? But whatever. I mean, the Cowboys got whooped this week. I don't know what happened, but it is what it is.
All right. Before, we gonna talk about that, obviously, right? But in the meantime, between time, I don't know why Will couldn't wait to get that part off. Anyway, anybody that's watching this, before we get to that, anybody that's watching this on YouTube, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Spotify, I think podcasters, video thing. You know the drill. Do the same thing. Leave a 5-star review. If you listen to this on Apple Music or Spotify, not Apple Music, Apple Podcast. I don't know what they call it, but they just call it Apple Podcast. And Spotify podcast. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and be gladly appreciated. William, this is episode number, I believe, 17.
Oh no, 17.
Yes, I need a player that wear number 17, and it should be obvious based off
Josh
this past
Allen.
week. Thank you. Okay.
Woo! Yeah, I saw that segment too. When you're like, Will don't ever get the numbers right.
You really don't. Like you don't.
Devontae
You
Adams.
don't though. That's the crazy
Devontae
part.
Adams too.
Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams.
Closer to home. But anyway.
Yeah, well, Josh Allen.
Anyway. Well, let's get into it, man. That way we can let's get it popping. So starting off, man, to recap the week 15, we had a Thursday night SmackDown. Nevertheless. Oh, yeah, man. It started off, man, with the Raiders doing something that we just didn't expect them to do respectfully. Right?
Right. No.
Coming off a week of playing against the Vikings, they had the game ended in 3-0. And especially coming off a short week, nobody expected them, yet alone to beat the Chargers by 42 points. But to score 42 points in the first half alone. Probably the most embarrassing game I've seen in a pretty long time. Literally nothing could go wrong for the Raiders. They had Aiden kind of looking like Tom Brady, literally dissecting the defense. Unfortunately, obviously Justin Herbert wasn't playing in this game, and literally without him there, you could see like they must have been partying the night before because they must have forgot they had a game for real, because to come out, literally the Vegas Raiders scored 21 both quarters and to finish the game with 63 points, literally, and it pretty much broke up that whole franchise. The coach literally getting fired that morning, and I think the GM, if I remember correctly. I'm gonna start with you, Ron. What's your thoughts on this game? First and foremost, and also I have a question. With the coach and the GM being fired, if you were the GM, what would you do to turn this franchise around?
I think you got to look as far as the Chargers and their head coaching situation. I like Brian Flores. I also like Eric Bieniemy with the Commanders. I think he deserved a shot a long time ago with the job he did with the Chiefs. But as far as the game, man, I think Staley had lost the locker room long before Thursday night, and I think it just all kind of came to an end that night. Honestly, with the Raiders scoring 63, I think even if Herbert played, the Raiders still probably put up 63, and I still don't even think it was that close. The Chargers have been a mystery for the last few years. I know I have this conversation with Will all the time. He likes to put Herbert in this top 5 area. And, I like Herbert. He hasn't done anything yet. I don't think he's even as on the same level as a Trevor Lawrence right now. So we might have to have a conversation about our boy Justin Herbert real soon. I think he's got another year or two where you give him a good look, but that organization is looking crazy in a division where you would think they would be above the Raiders as far as roster goes, but they got to put it together. So I don't know. I think it speaks more to the Raiders though than it does the Chargers. I think the Raiders are doing a great job over there, and I think they're turning it around. I think they're a few pieces away from really being competitive, and they might sneak in as a wild card. So we'll see as the last 3 weeks play out.
Okay, bad. Well, I'm gonna save you last, Eric, because this is your team. So I'm gonna let you get the ISO for this. So I'm gonna let you, Will, you get your your 2 cents about it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say much because I want to hear what Eric has to say. But basically, without Justin Herbert, the Chargers ain't gonna do nothing. They didn't show up on offense or defense. Pretty much, Keenan Allen's been carrying the Chargers like this whole season. If they even get close to getting a dub, it's because of him. Eckler was going off for like a couple of weeks, but we haven't really seen anything from him lately. But yeah, no, the Raiders just with the new head coach and everything have been playing a lot better. And they just took advantage of the game and got the job done, which a really big job done. But bravo, guys, bravo. But I want to hear from Eric.
All right, bro. Before you go, so you want to make no changes, William? at all? So you just rock as is? You look for some new players, have a change of scenery, new coach, something?
No, I don't think they need new players. I think they have a good roster. It's just I think they need a new coach. I know last episode y'all was talking about Bill Belichick thinking about retiring or going to a new team. That possibly could be a good look for him if he goes over to coach the Chargers, because he already has a team that's a good team. They're not stacked, but they're a good team. So could be a good fit for him.
No, I'm not mad at that. I think for me, my take on the game was that I think that we literally seen the Chargers implode, literally in front of our eyes. I think, with the Raiders, right? I think ever since they've hired Aiden Pierce, who's looked like a player's coach, he's definitely gave the Vegas Raiders a different energy that we haven't really seen in a long time. Like there's been almost like a cloud under the Raiders organization. I think Pierce is kind of, who knows how long he stays there, but like this is definitely a nice spark plug moving forward. You can see it, and Devontae Adams had 8 catches, 101 for a tug. Like he dancing in the locker room, like he even feels a bit happier. Like literally just a few weeks ago, he wanted out. You know what I mean? So it's definitely good to see. Hopefully this can carry on. I mean, obviously they probably won't make the playoffs, but hopefully going into the off season, this is definitely will be a definitely a good jump start. As far as the Chargers, though, I agree with Ron. He actually brought up some good names. I think Eric Bellamy from the Commanders would be a good coach to kind of replace what they're looking for. I think they just really lack. I think for me with the Chargers, I think they just really lack discipline. I think throughout the years you've seen Chargers, they've kind of been on paper they look great, right? Like top to bottom. You got Herbert, you got Eckler, you got I can't even think of his name. Did he play? He didn't even play. Keenan Allen, you got Gerald Everett on defense, you got Darren James, you got Khalil Mack. I mean, they kind of on the back end, you got the Bosa twins. So, they got players, they got talent, right? But I think that sometimes they, coaches make teams, right? Just like the Niners, Kyle Shanahan literally got that offense pretty much putting up 30 a night, right? He's a tactical coach. He literally puts players wide open in his scheme, right? And I think that the Chargers could benefit from a player like that. And like you said, Eric Bellamy, what he was doing in Kansas City, I'm pretty sure he had a player like Justin Herbert. Yeah, he may not be top 5. I put him personally top 10, top 15, because I think that he just needed a coach to open up his play. He went to Oregon. He was very creative in Oregon. So I think if you get him a coach that could think like minded like him, or if you get him Bill Belichick, just have him make the smart plays instead of trying to carry the team similar to what Josh Allen does in Buffalo, I think you will see a change, man, because the Chargers have been too good on paper for too long, right? I don't think, they struggle to make the playoffs, it seems like every single year. And then when they get to the playoffs, they barely could get past the first round. So I think moving forward, man, I think they just need to. I think if I'm them, I probably would focus on Eric Bellamy and Bill Belichick, just because they need some discipline. And I think for Justin Herbert to hit that next step in his career, as far as elevating him and putting him in the conversations with the Joe Burrows, the Josh Allens, and players of that nature, I think that'll probably be the best move for him. That way he can play and think the game smarter. Because I think with the coaches he's had before, it's just not enough consistency for him to develop a routine and pick apart coaches' brains and see how they could dissect defenses. So yeah, I actually, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, low key, I ain't gonna lie, I will be blowing up the Commanders. I'm getting Eric Bellamy in there. I'm not gonna lie. Now I'm thinking about it, especially after he just coached Pat Mahomes. And you see how they struggling without him over there. You got to go call him, dog. Go get the Chargers right. So I agree. Well, the floor is yours, Eric. What you got to say, dog?
First of all, it kind of sucks that Will wasn't talking trash.
Man,
I thought
right?
he was talking trash. He's always talking trash. All of a sudden, we put up 63 and he don't got nothing to say. I wanted him to say something just so I could talk some trash over to Will. Get him out of that Disneyland mindset he's in right now, because he's all nice all of a sudden he wants to come back. But
I needed a vacation.
Well, you're in reality, baby. No, but I mean it was a dope game to see. For sure, offensively, they couldn't get a lot of things going because honestly, man, I thought it would probably fall on the quarterback. But if you look at all of their fumbles, all of the turnovers, it was on the receivers, and the returners, and it was like, man, like they were messing it up. Because if you really look at the games, their backup Stick, that's his name, Stick. He wasn't that bad, to be honest with you. He was pretty good. Yeah, he fumbled the ball maybe once or twice. But he's a rookie, so you kind of expect that, you know. But what's it called?
Fumbles last game. That's a lot.
And then Eckler. I don't know what's up with Eckler, man. He's been pissing me off. I have him on one of my fantasy leagues. Oh, with you guys. And first, he's a touchdown machine. All of a sudden, he's not doing nothing. I don't know if the coach wasn't playing him anymore, giving him enough plays, or they were just stopping him. Yeah, I don't know what was going on over there. But, I mean, the defense was all there. I mean, we still whooped them. But you could tell, man, that coach that got fired, just looking at him on the sidelines, like, man, you don't belong in this team. Like, you got to go. Like, just looking at him. And, I mean, if they go for Bill Belichick, I think he'll turn that franchise around. But at the same time, I don't think he's in the coach anymore. I think he's done. If he leaves the Patriots this year, I think he's done. I don't think he comes back. Which, I mean, he has nothing to prove. You know, he's done it all. If I was him, I'd go retire. But then again, I mean, he probably likes to, obviously he loves to compete. But I mean, I don't really got a lot to say. I mean, it was dope to see us break our own franchise touchdown record in a game. It would have been dope if they would have scored another touchdown and been in that, top 4 of most touchdowns scored in the NFL game. But yeah, I mean, I didn't really got much to say besides, Will, if I ever hear you talk smack about the Raiders again, I'm gonna beat you up.
Yeah, that game was crazy, man. I promise you, I was watching some NBA game because I was going back and forth.
Right.
And I was watching, I forgot who was playing for basketball, but I remember I was drinking and I'm like, all right, let me check on this Raider game real quick. And I looked at the score and it said 42-0, and I almost spit my drink out. I was like, no, what's going on?
Crazy.
Then, like you said, man, it was just a lot of undisciplined plays, a lot of turnovers. Austin Eckler looked like he pretty much, I don't know if he's battling injury or not, but he's not really having the best of years, only averaging 3.6 yards a carry. So I don't think that either they're not using him as much, or he probably just, I mean, was he 28 years old? He's still fairly young, but usually when you start getting in your late 20s, that's when the running backs start, declining a little bit. But I think from what I've seen, I think there was a lot of people saying that he's been playing through injury this year. So maybe we could chalk it up to that, though. But yeah, he definitely been more unproductive compared to previous years. Because I used to get him in my fantasy league, and he used to ball out. So, but I didn't touch him this year. So
yeah. I mean, he was balling out most of the season, like all season long until like recently, like within the last maybe 2 or 3 games. And now I'm like, hey man, whatever. I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, he's not playing good the rest of the season. So.
Yeah, I feel you on that one, man. Well, hopefully the Chargers can figure it out, man, because that's a team that definitely should be in the discussion to be able to make the playoffs legitimately every year, and definitely win the division. But moving along, man, or let's see. You know what? Let's keep in the AFC, man. Speaking of AFC teams, we're gonna talk about Buffalo, man. Buffalo, probably the hottest team in the AFC right now. Literally had a game against Dallas this week. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Outside of us, of course, you know what I'm saying. I mean, you know what I'm saying. But
when you talk about hottest teams in the AFC, you got to talk about the Ravens, not the Bills.
Yes, for sure. But like,
trash this season.
I'm giving respect to Buffalo because they in playoff mode right now, right? Like to play Dallas, which was everybody was talking about Dak being MVP, blah blah blah. And with pretty much Buffalo is win or go home mode every week. Mm-hmm. And for them to have a dominant performance against the Dallas Cowboys was a very nice statement game. I remember me and Eric talked about it. We was like, yo, this is crucial. Like, this is a must win because, unfortunately for them, they just got to, they can't really lose no games. You know what I'm saying? And luckily now they got to play the Chargers. that's probably a dub. And then they got New England and Miami. So, they got the rest of the schedule on their side.
Man, I swore the Bills wouldn't beat the Cowboys. I was like dead set, like, nah, there's no way the Bills beat the Cowboys. The Cowboys are killing it right now. The Bills are trash the way they've been playing, and then they come out and just whoop the Cowboys. But it goes to what you were talking about, that they're in the we cannot lose a single game mode to make it to the playoffs. And I be telling people all the time, like, yeah, if you got stacked teams, all that stuff, but sometimes when those players on that team just wanted more than that other team, bro. What team beat everybody was talking about it. Oh, when the Niners played the Eagles, right? The year before, I mean the Eagles beat the Niners, right? And honestly, the Eagles, to me, they just look like a way better team. And then this year came around, and I'm thinking like, oh, no way the Niners beat the Eagles. But like I said, I feel like the Niners players just wanted it so much more, like in their hearts they wanted so much more, and they came and just destroyed the Eagles. So I think that has a lot to do with it, and I think that's why the Bills were able to, man, get that look off your face, Will. All right.
I mean, maybe the Niners are just a very good team this year.
I'm not saying they're a bad team. I'm not saying they're a bad team.
Okay, hold on.
I'm just saying
that's
pull a rabbit out their hat.
Maybe we got an actual quarterback this year. So
okay, well, let me ask you a question, because I know you probably watched the game if you didn't use at Disneyland. So, do you think the game that we just seen between the Bills and the Cowboys, was that more of the Bills being a better team, or the Cowboys not being as good as we think they are?
That's the Cowboys being frauds, bro.
Okay,
the Cowboys are frauds, bro.
No,
they are not that good. Okay, yeah, you guys say the Bills are, they're in playoff mode. They're like, we got to get into playoffs, which, yes, that is true. But you're playing the Cowgirls. The Cowgirls can't be putting up so many points on all these good teams. Once they play a good team, that's when they start folding. And we've seen this over and over again. So that's what happened. Cowgirls fold under the good team's pressure. That's all that happened, man.
Will is the most unhumble Niner fan, but look.
Okay, so I'm not the one that sees that, right?
You see this, Ron?
I'm with y'all to a degree. So, I mean, we got to talk about the Bills, man. This is more about the Bills. So, we talking about the Bills just beat the Dallas team, who just beat the Eagles the week prior, and Buffalo also beat the Chiefs a week prior as well. The run that the Chiefs, the Bills are on right now is unprecedented. Like, I don't think anybody wants to run to the Bills right now. Like y'all saying, they playing with their hairs on fire. They're playing like their life is on the line with their backs to the wall. And I think they're giving everybody the work. I was on the pod a few episodes ago, and I spoke out about Josh Allen and just about how I thought he was putting his team in a horrible position. Ever since that episode, this fool had a 180. He is winning games for his team. Not to forget the running back. I forget his name. He's been tearing folks up. Cook has been killing, man. So, I think Buffalo is a real threat right now. If I'm any team in the AFC, I don't want to see Buffalo right now in the playoffs. Not in the wild card, not in the second round. They're going to be a hard out. I think the only upside for most AFC teams is they'll probably play Buffalo at home, meaning that Buffalo will be on the road. So, Dallas is Dallas, but Dallas have been on a pretty good run too all year before this past week. So, it was cold up there. So maybe, give a little bit of credit to that. But Will, you got to put some respect on Buffalo and give Dallas a little bit of credit too. They're not a bad team. They only got 4 losses, and they're still leading the division now since the Eagles lost last night. So Dallas is all right.
You see this, Will? You see this, Will? Ron's not delusional. All right, he's watching the game. He's a Niner fan for sure, but he's watching the game. He's paying respect. Put some respect on their name, Will. All right.
Thank you. At least y'all see it now, right? Because I was having these conversations one-on-one, and I'm feeling like I'm tripping to tell you these things. Like, I know I'm not. Like, I'll give credit where credit is due. Like, I would tell you first and foremost, man. Like, even though I'm the Baltimore Ravens fan, like, Buffalo scared me, legit. Like, I think that with them hitting their stride right now, with the defense picking up, man, I don't think anybody wants to play them first round. Like, you get to the playoffs in the first round, you got to play Buffalo, and they come into your crib. You don't really like that. You don't really want that, man. And luckily for them, they're battle tested, right? You look at other teams that could probably make the playoffs: Houston, unproven; Cleveland, unproven. Even though they got a great defense offensively, Joe Flacco made a save their season, but I still don't. I don't see enough offensive firepower for them to really make a run. Jacksonville, I just don't think they got it. I don't. They missing something on offense. I don't think they got enough firepower either. Their defense is okay, but even we shut them down, so I'm really not worried about them. Kansas City, it's Pat Mahomes, right? He could pull the magic out of a hat, but if your wide receivers can't catch the ball, you got problems. Right. So for me, for a first round opponent, I think Buffalo is probably the scariest team coming out of the AFC as of today. Now, obviously, it may change. We got 3 more games left in the season, but right now, if outside of the Ravens, everybody's looking at Buffalo like, yeah, we do not want to play that team in the first round. That's gonna suck. It's gonna be
what about Miami?
Rough day for you. Frauds, and I've been saying that since day one. In my personal opinion, they can't beat a good team, and I think for me, I think that offensively, even they're not consistent enough, I think, to win games. And I think they've shown that just off the fact of how they played against Tennessee. Obviously, they had Tyreek Hill, and he kind of was on and off because of injuries. But Tua, to me, is not that good of a quarterback. And I've been saying that since day one. I think that he gets elevated because of the players that he have on his team. I think as just a QB play, a talent, he doesn't read coverages that well. He can't really throw the long ball that well. And when they put the ball in his hand, it's like, hey, here, take us there. When you need a quarterback to, let me get this 2-minute drill, let me dissect and try to get to a field goal. He doesn't give you that, especially in NFL. He may have did it in college. You know what I'm saying? When you got Alabama and you got Nick Saban and you got the star-studded offense, half the team going to the NFL, when the rest of the team you playing against, probably 2 players getting drafted. It's a little different. You know what I'm saying? So for me, Miami, I think they on fraud alert. I think I said that last. I think I said that on last week. I think they're on fraud alert because I just don't really see. I just don't see them. To me, they were. If I really want to be nasty, they remind me of Minnesota from last year. If I'm being honest, the offense looks great, but I think if the pressure's on, they're going to fold. I see it. They can't. They can't. First of all, ain't too many teams ever that made the playoffs, made the Super Bowl, or made a deep run, and you couldn't beat any team with a winning record during a season.
Right.
I can't remember any. Somebody had to fact check me on it, but I'm just saying, like, so you beating up the bums and you lose it to the good team. So that at that point, you're not really like every litmus test you've had, every test you had, you failed. So I don't have no belief in Miami to get to that point. And if the pressure's online, they got to play a Buffalo or they got to play a Baltimore, maybe a Kansas City or whoever, and the pressure's on, I think they're gonna fold. So I don't really like them at all. I don't believe in them at all. I'm more put like this. I'm more afraid of Buffalo than probably anybody in the division today, to be completely honest. They are like that. And Dallas, oh man, Dallas is very interesting, right? You look at Dallas, it's almost like they the little brother trying to catch up to the big brother, but the big brother's so big, they're like, damn, dog, like I can't, I'm not old enough yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all the boogeyman for them. They can't beat the Niners for whatever reason. Everybody else, though, ball up, right? No problem. And they'll have like these hiccups, you know what I'm saying, during the season. Like they said, they had a hiccup against Arizona earlier this year. I think even this last game, I won't consider a hiccup. They just played the Bills. That's one of the hottest teams on the road. It kind of is what it is, right? I don't think it really changes, the bigger picture for them. The biggest picture is against y'all. That's all. That's really what it is. I think they're probably better than Philly right now as of today. If they just got to figure out what to do when they meet y'all in San Francisco. And I think if they could figure that out, then they'll be fine. But I think everybody else, they passed that test. It's just y'all, if we're being honest. Well, the Niners. So, yeah.
Not you, Will. The team.
Not you, Will. Not yet.
The organization.
Bang, bang, not a gang.
Yeah.
At the airport.
Yeah.
I got a call.
Wait, I have a question.
What's up?
So, do you think the 49ers are to the Cowboys what the Eagles are to the 49ers? I mean, not the Eagles, the Ravens? for example, the Cowboys cannot beat the 49ers for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
But I was looking at previous games. I don't think the 49ers can beat the Ravens.
Eric over here trying to do his homework, trying to spice it up right now. He's over here doing his research finally. He finally want to do some research on that. Okay.
You're about to see them this weekend. I just say, Will. I just say, Will, look. Here's how we settle it. This is how we find out who's going to win between the 49ers and the Ravens. They play Sunday night. When do they play?
Monday. They play Christmas.
Monday night. Okay. So this is how we find out. If you guys want, for the subscribers listening, if you guys want to find out so you guys can put your parlays in, for your bets, for your bookies, all that stuff, here's the cheat code. All right. This is how you know who wins between the 49ers and the Ravens. We're going to have Will, that's a 49er fan, get in a fist fight, a street fight with Tweez as a Ravens fan.
God.
And whoever wins, that means that team on Monday is going to win, all right?
I couldn't even do that to my brother, man. I couldn't even do that to my boy, man. But, man, you know what? That's a great segment, right? You know what I mean? We got Christmas Day coming up. That's around the corner. We got a couple big games. Obviously, we have the Raiders and the Chiefs earlier that day. I'm surprised that the Raiders got a Christmas game. I didn't know they had one this Christmas game. But that's cool, though.
Hold on.
What?
Hold on.
What?
I would be a bad friend if I didn't mention this. Bad brother if I didn't mention this. But this is supposed to be Tweez's birthday episode because his birthday's on Christmas.
Hey, bro.
Hey.
You know, we gotta say 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday.
Well, we can't see it together.
Do not do that right now.
Yeah, this is his episode before he turns his big 3-2. So you know he gonna.
I will be 29. Don't do that.
Oh my God.
Well, he's 29, 32. Which one?
29. Don't put years on me. Don't put years on me, man.
Yeah,
do not do that.
I just had to say this is supposed to be his birthday episode, so you know.
Anyway,
keep going.
Happy early birthday, Tweez. Happy early birthday.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Well,
big 32.
Wow. All right, cool. 32. Actually, you know, it's funny. That's one of my favorite numbers, so I'm gonna let you rock with that. Man, so let's get straight into it, man. I mean, we got the Christmas Day matchup, the primetime game. We got the Ravens versus the Niners. Top two teams in both divisions from the battle it out, man. I think it's literally everybody's kind of looking at this as a potential Super Bowl preview. Yeah, man. You know, obviously the Ravens don't really play the Niners. Probably we don't really get to play y'all. I think we played y'all twice. It was Super Bowl, and then I think a couple years ago we played y'all in the game. So it's like you really don't get to see each other, but it's like it's a mutual respect, right? Like, you know, for me, it's always interesting because I feel like, you know, obviously, you know, both Harbaughs was coaches there, and I feel like they kind of bid off each other as far as like the type of players that they get, the type of schemes that they run. Literally, we would trade players like when they both was coaching from time to time back and forth. Bruh, so like
what Brahman name that ran the ball all the way back on us in the Super Bowl? Like it was like a punt or like a kick.
Why are you talking about that?
You talking about Jacoby Jones?
He ended up on our team.
Jacoby
We're like,
Jones?
what the heck? What's this guy doing here? Get him out of here. He lost us the Super Bowl.
But y'all took our fullback though.
Yeah, no.
Because we had Kyle. Yeah. So it's just like, you know, it's just funny how, you know what I'm saying?
We took Anquan Bolden 2 years later.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. So like we always kind of like both our
you had Ray Lewis, we had Patrick Willis.
You know what I'm saying? We had Ed Reed, y'all had Golston, and you got Hufanga now.
Grim Weeper, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. So like I think both teams have always kind of mimicked each other as far as play style, the way they made their teams and stuff like that. So it's always interesting to watch y'all play or watch each other teams play because they play relatively the same. Obviously, it's a little bit different now because of Kyle Shanahan and, you know, Harbaugh. They both have different play style, different schemes, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, man, I want to ask you guys, first of all, obviously, I know y'all pretty much going, I'm wondering who y'all think will win, right? Obviously, I know y'all going to pick, but give me 3 things that you think is going to be the reason why you win.
Brock Purdy.
Oh God. Okay. Give me Brock Purdy's stat line. You think he gonna have for this game?
Brock Purdy gonna throw for over 300 yards. He gonna get about 2 to 3 tugs. No, he probably get like 3 to 4 tugs. McCaffrey probably gonna have like 3 tugs himself. So yeah, it's gonna be a no interception. He gonna have probably like a 96 passer rating. So it's gonna be a good game. You feel me?
Can we? Okay, so you're just gonna troll, or you gonna give an honest like?
That's my honest opinion, sir.
Oh,
Y'all getting
God.
dog walked like every
No.
other elite team that we play.
Okay.
So here's the Niner representation. Ron, you need to talk to your boy, man. You need to talk to him at work.
I love Will, but I honestly hate Niner fans because we do this a lot. We gotta take a step back, man. We gotta be realistic, dog.
Thank you. Like, just relax.
Oh my God. First and foremost, I think this is probably the biggest test for the Niners all year. I believe the Ravens play in the most physical, toughest division in football. I don't think there's a tougher division than the AFC North, excuse me. And we struggled with those teams this year. We've lost to the Browns. We lost to Cincy at home. I think it would have been a tougher game with Pittsburgh had we not played them at the very first game of the season. So I think this is going to be a really tough game this week. I think we'll learn a lot about the 49ers this week. I think it's a good test to kind of see where we're at. I like our matchups everywhere except the secondary. I believe the Baltimore has a better secondary than the Niners have personally. And I think the Ravens have a better quarterback, a more dynamic quarterback than the Niners have. Now, I think Brock Purdy works better in our system, but I think Lamar Jackson is right there, second or third in my MVP voters right now, probably after Purdy and McCaffrey. So the three reasons we might win, or I think that will help us win, is Kyle keeps scheming up the way he's been scheming up, man. I've seen Debo score 2 touchdowns last week with nobody within 20 yards of him.
That was insane. I don't know. But like this, I just want to say it real quick. The way Kyle Shanahan schemes up these players to be butt naked open for touchdowns is the most insane thing for me. Like,
you said what?
You watch these games, and I play like this. I tip my head off to Kyle Shanahan because like I'll be watching it and I'm just like, dog, Christian McCaffrey is just walking into the end zone. Wow. You don't see that really nowhere else for real. Like there's somebody near him. Maybe he lost a step and he got beat. But dog, they could high step Sergeant style and walk in the end zone. And I'll be like, Coach, y'all not gonna stop that? How they get that open? It beats me every time.
Kyle's good. I feel like usually the first 2-3 drives to the game, at least our offensive drives, is kind of a fill them out, see where they're at. I think we struggled a lot over the last few weeks. We went 3 and out, I want to say 2 or 3 times against Philly before just unleashing on them for the rest of the game. So if Kyle's been kind of filling out in the first quarter and then we just kind of go to town. So I think it'll be a little bit of that this week, and we'll try to at least. I think what's really going to come down to is defensively, though. I'm not really pleased with how we played defense against Kyler Murray and the Cardinals this week. We still gave up over 200 yards rushing, the most we gave up all year. The Ravens are a really good rushing team. Lamar Jackson, I believe, is the most dynamic rusher of the football at the quarterback position in the league. Not the guy who be getting his butt pushed in the end zone, but so. With that, I think we're going to have to really try to contain 8 this week. I think that's going to tell us a lot. If we were playing in Baltimore, I'd be a little bit more afraid just because of the weather and things like that. But at home, sunny California, I think that actually plays into Lamar being able to move a little bit more in open field. Those are 2 reasons. I think we end up pulling out. I think the Niners have too much. The Niners have a lot. I mean, a lot of weapons all over the field. There's almost no weaknesses. And I try to be humble with it and give everybody their credit, but the Niners look like a lot. They look like an all-star team right now, and it kind of just wears teams down, over time. So we'll see. It should be a good game, though. I'm really excited to see. I like Baltimore a lot. They've been my pick all year at the AFC.
Okay, Eric.
No, I mean I agree with Ron, to be honest with you. I'll give it to the Ravens just because I think the Ravens they've won the last 2 times they've met, right? And I still think I think it's one of those things, but still, Lamar Jackson, man, I think they're gonna have a hard time catching him. I haven't been seeing a lot of games for the 49ers or the Ravens, but the little I have seen, Lamar Jackson, man, he be putting like 70. Anywhere from 50 to 70 rushing yards per game, something like that, something ridiculous. And then you just said it yourself that the Niners defense, maybe they don't have the best defense for the rushing yards, right? So we have a mobile quarterback moving like that, I think that's going to give them a big advantage. The only thing is though, if Christian McCaffrey can just keep doing what McCaffrey does, then that's also the other thing. So it's kind of like, man, I'm actually not even putting money on this game because I have no idea how it's going to go down. Because you have McCaffrey that's legit the best running back in the whole NFL, right? But the Ravens defense could shut him down. Maybe not completely shut him down, but he's not going to be able to perform how he's been performing, where he's making almost all the touchdowns for the 49ers, you know? Not saying all of them, but the majority are coming from him, you know? So I think the Ravens could slow that down a lot. I don't think they'll stop him 100%. But I think the way the Niners win, McCaffrey has an amazing game, and they can shut down Lamar's running game. I think those are the two biggest things the Niners win. I think the Ravens keep playing how they're playing, and they can just explode offensively. And I don't know if the team is going to be able to take or handle 100% the 49ers offense. It's hard to tell, man. I really don't know who's going to win. I'm going to give it to the Ravens just because I believe in Lamar Jackson.
Because you're a hater.
No. Nah, dude, I put.
You need to take a Disneyland vacation, sir, so you can be nicer.
I put money on the Niners against the Cardinals this week, so trust me. Money's money. But anyways, I got the Ravens on this one, but at the same time, I have no idea. But I think it's gonna be a dope game. That's gonna be the game I'm watching this week, besides obviously my game. But yeah.
I think all eyes will be on this matchup. I think, to me, if you look at the NFL, the landscape, I think these are the two most complete teams in the league. I think from top to bottom. Defensively, I think both teams are top 3 or top 5 in defense. I think offense, top 3, top 5 in the same. So, to have two teams be complete, I mean, you could literally call it a toss-up, right? Obviously, I'm still going to pick my Ravens first and foremost. We'll go get that out the way. But I do this just as much as this is a test for the Niners. I think this is a test for the Ravens as well. Even with Lamar pretty much having almost an undefeated record against the NFC, they ain't the Niners that we played, respectfully. So this is a whole different monster that we have not played all year. Yeah, we smacked the Lions. Yeah, we smacked the Seahawks where they were hot at that moment. But it's a different beast. Those same teams will smack the Niners will smack as well. So man, it's gonna be a great game, man. I'm looking forward to it. Definitely to see where we at defensively, man. To see my biggest my keys to the game, I think, are going to be one. Like you said, I know the Niners tend to start slow. I think we have to make sure we get some points out of those possessions. I think even with the Eagles, right? Like they started off slow against the Eagles, but the Eagles only turned out 6 points from that, especially I think the first 2 or 3 possessions. There's got to be touchdowns. Because at the end of the day, for a fact the Niners probably going to put up about 30 points, or they're going to try to at minimum. So luckily for us this year offensively, that's never really been a problem. We put about 25, 27, even a couple 30 clip games. So offensively, we haven't really struggled, but the Niners are damn near a lock for 30. like it's unreal, bro. Like you watch their games, you're like, God, they put up 30 damn near every game. Ain't too many teams that could do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Consistently week in and week out, man. So I think for us, man, I think that, we have to take advantage of the Niners' slow starts. All right. I know he gets to fill them out, see where it's going, but I think we got to put our head down early and just get straight to it. Try to get a couple touchdowns if we can. Try to control the game. Try to control the game. Keep the Niners offense off the field as much as possible. You know what I'm saying? Not let them develop a rhythm. I think that Lamar being able to control the run game. We lost Keaton Mitchell last week to a knee injury. That I really wanted to see what he would look like to be able to create that little speed dynamic with our running backs this week, but we won't see it. So it is what it is. I don't know how much they're gonna run Lamar, but he probably may have to use his legs a little bit more. I know they've been trying to keep him in the pocket, a couple RPOs here and there, but I think they may let him loose a little bit this game, especially hopefully the weather. I think the weather's not gonna be that bad, right? I think out here this week, I think we should be good, right? So I think Lamar may run a little bit this game. Yeah, man, our defense, man. I think I think our defense, I think our game gonna be probably one between our linebackers, Roquan and Patrick McQueen. I think that you got one guarding Christian McCaffrey, one guy Kittle. Do not leave them. Everybody else, we're gonna send pressure here and there from everybody else, but Raquan Smith and Patrick McQueen is gonna be the two key factors for that game on defense, I think. Because I think Christian McCaffrey is too dynamic as a runner, as a catcher, to leave him by himself. So I don't care whoever want to guard him, cool, but you better not let him go the whole game. Kittle, one of y'all pick him as well. Very physical, definitely like the chip, get off the block, get off early on a delay or something, he'd be wide open. Can't let that happen. As far as Debo and IU concerned, I'm fine. I'm probably fine playing man to man, but I think we're gonna mix it up a little bit. Try to give him different looks just to have Purdy see something different. Probably send a little pressure early just to mix it up because it's gonna be a chess match. It's gonna be a chess match throughout the whole game. And I think whoever wins probably gonna win by no more than like 3-7. I'm gonna be completely honest. I think it's gonna be a touchdown. Either it'll be something like 33-24, maybe 33-30, 27-24. It'll be along the lines of that. If we win, I think it's gonna be like 27-24. But I think that the key to it is time of possession. Lamar, please do not turn over the ball because you've been having a habit of doing that. But that's because he stays in the pocket. He don't run out the pocket like that all the time. So if you stand in the pocket and you're trying to make a pass, you know what I mean, especially with Joey Bosa and Chase Young, you don't really want to do that. You can you can fumble the ball a little bit too much. And yeah, defense, man, it's really gonna be one between the two linebackers. I think so. I think that's gonna be our X factors, our two linebackers, to help limit that defense be able to run the ball just because of the fact that Christian McCaffrey has been so dynamic running the ball, and then off the play action, Kittle been eating. Debo been eating, Ayuk been eating. I mean, you can't stop everybody, right? It's an all-star team over there. So you go try to limit and contain as much as you can. But I think that if we can contain the run game with our two linebackers, which is probably outside of Fred Warner and Greenlaw, the best linebacker duo in the league, they're gonna have some work cut out for them. So I'm excited, bro. I cannot wait, dog. I cannot wait. I heard the Niners is wearing they old school unis for that game too. I think they're wearing I think it's the white ones, I think. I don't know which ones we wearing. I hope we wear the all black ones or the purple ones. All purple. We're gonna see though. But I think y'all wearing y'all old school like 71. So it should be fire, man. I can't wait, dog. It's gonna be lit. I am excited.
Look at Will. What you gotta say, Will?
Well, I know, right? Go ahead, get what you got to say, bro.
Just say it, Will.
I think all y'all just delusional. Every week we talk about the Niners going up against a good team and they just end up dog walking every team. So I just think this is gonna be another dog walk for the Niners as long as we stay healthy and everybody's playing well. I ain't worried at all. I think we're gonna drop a cool 40 piece on them, and y'all might get 20, so it's all good. We'll see.
It's gonna be 40. You think it's gonna be 40?
Yeah, we're gonna drop a good 40 on.
That's crazy. But you know what? You know what's so crazy, right? Like that the year that the Niners have had, right? A delusional Niner fan can think that, right? Like outside of the couple of weeks that players were hurt, Trent Williams, Debo, which were the struggle weeks, right? Like, and then they had almost a close one, I think, right before the bye week, and then they came back and picked up where they left off and just took off. You know what I mean? So it's just like you rightfully have a right to think that. I'm not even mad at it, right? And then you played Dallas, right? You smacked them up. You played Philly. That was almost a vengeance game. Y'all took that personal. I'm not gonna lie. Y'all took that game personal. So
and we haven't seen y'all since the Super Bowl, so it's gonna be personal again.
No, y'all seen this later than y'all say it was a week. It was a regular season game. Nothing too crazy. Y'all seen this after that, but yeah, I definitely. The Niners offense is very dynamic to the point where it's like you just can't make no mistakes. You can't make no mistakes, and you can't settle for 3. You just can't. I think they've proven that, like, yo, we gonna score 7, whether y'all like it or not. So if y'all don't put up about 25, 30 points, y'all gonna lose more times than not. You know what I mean? Obviously, barring everybody's healthy, of course. I think that I think the only time because wasn't I know, right? That's crazy that it popped up like that. So if you put a thumbs up, I guess that's what happens. Correct me if I'm wrong, but was everybody healthy for that Bengals game?
No, Debo was out and Trent was out.
Okay, then never mind. Then never mind. But I was gonna say like that was the only game I remember that I thought that everybody was healthy. That was like a legit loss because everybody else was, Minnesota was a struggle, and who else was a struggle? The Browns, right? But that
Browns.
was there was a lot of injuries as well. But outside of that, they pretty much been flawless. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Trust me. I'm definitely like is I just want to see how we play it. Because this is gonna give me if we can play y'all well, I'm confident about everybody else in the AFC. Because at the end of the day, like we got bigger fish to fry because like Lamar got something to prove. He got a 250 million contract, bro. I need to see you win a playoff game. Like straight up. Like this, I mean, like the past 2 years, you've dealt with injuries. We get it. It's a business. You've been sitting out, whatever, cool. It's time to put that money up. You know what I mean? Like it's time to okay, you get to the offs. I ain't trying to see you have a flugazy game. I need you to ball up. I mean, it is what it is. And especially with you winning the division and probably gonna win this conference as long as you win out. Because I think let's say hypothetically we lose this game. I'm confident we beat Miami and then we play the Steelers when we need our get back. Because outside of them five, bro, we were supposed to beat the
Steelers
Steelers
got your
last.
number, buddy.
You know what's so funny? I think he's like 1-3. We were supposed to win that lad earlier this year. The wide receivers dropped 7 passes. I don't know what you do with that. 2 of them was touchdowns. So
Well,
it is
that's
what it
Mahomes.
is.
He's struggling with that right now too.
But that's what I'm saying. It just I play this. Pat Mahomes.
So
Mahomes.
hold on. Okay. So you know how we like keeping score of like the teams you think they gonna win. So I got me with Niners, Tweez and Eric. You guys got Ravens. Ron, who are you choosing?
It's 2-2.
I got the Niners.
Okay, cool. I'm just making sure because I don't say that.
I'm a Lamar guy, but I got the Niners. Yeah. We at home. We were on the road. I think it'd be different, but we're at home.
Okay.
Yeah, they're home. So, and I think that's a bigger test for us as well because I think the last couple times we played, I think when we played a couple years ago, we was at home. So this will be the first big game we've had this year that I think we've had on a roll against a team of that caliber. We played Jacksonville last week, I think, on a roll, but to me, I don't believe in Jacksonville like that. So for me, I didn't really consider that like a huge, big ordeal game. This to me is like, okay, where do we stand in all this? Because you at one point or another, you're gonna have to see y'all, regardless, whether it's conference championship, Super Bowl, whatever. The Niners are one of the teams you're gonna have to see. So if you can see how you stack up, then you prepare for the next time you see them. So we'll see.
Well, we're already talking about these games next week, so y'all want to do predictions?
Oh, I have a question. I just have a quick question. Do you guys not believe in Jacksonville this year, or you guys just don't believe in their players, Trevor Lawrence, even in the near future?
I think they just need more time. I think that with Trevor Lawrence, I think obviously having a change of coach, Urban Meyers almost ran that boy career into the dirt, if we being honest. And luckily they changed that quick, right? But I think that with that team, obviously not having Calvin really early this year definitely kind of mixed up their offense, even though they played well, right? I think they played well, but I think that we still haven't seen. I don't know if it's the play calling, but it's just like there's a switch that's not happened with them yet for me to believe like, oh, they're in these particular conversations, right? I think defensively they're okay, but they're not nothing to be afraid of. You're not really afraid of their defense. You're not afraid of their offense. They're just a really solid team, a very solid team. You know what I'm saying? Where you have you have the Niners, the Ravens, Cowboys, Eagles. They're kind of all in this bubble, and then you have this bubble where it's like Jacksonville, the Detroit, I'm trying to think who else got to win the record. Hell, even Seattle, on its lowest scale, right? Cleveland, teams that like are really good, but they haven't had that switch yet to be elevated to these other teams as far as being in the conversation. And I think that just comes with time. I think they'll probably draft a couple pieces. I think they can definitely get better on the line. First and foremost, I think the O-line could use a huge improvement. First and foremost, and then I think to me, I don't really like the secondary either. I don't like the secondary at all. I think if they could probably lock in on those two next year, I think they'll probably be a better team. But as of right now, I mean, how it's looking, they might not make the playoffs if we're being honest. Don't let play as if somehow the Houston could figure out a way to sneak out these next couple wins and get hot. We might be having a whole different conversation about the Jaguars in the offseason. So
that's a good point. I think it's on their both of their lines, offensive line, defense line. They just don't rush the passer well. I feel like they need to be better than what they are. I mean, this is a team that won a playoff game last year. They went to the second round. They just happened to run to Patrick Mahomes in the second round. So, they're a good team. I love their offense. I just don't think they have enough on defense right now to slow teams down. If they can improve on defense, I think it should be, a stamp for them to be in the playoffs every year. But yeah, the fact that Houston is potentially going to win this division after they had a playoff run last year is kind of disappointing for this team. But I do think they're on their way. They're on their way. I liken them to a Miami. I think they're a few pieces away from being as competitive as a Miami. So we'll see.
Yeah, at the end of that game, do you think the coach made that stupid call of not spiking the ball, or was that a Trevor Lawrence lack of experience not spiking that ball, dude? Because they could have came back with that, And literally all you had to do was spike the ball, and this guy tries to like run the play last minute, and it was like, what are you doing? I'm not a Jacksonville fan, and it pissed me off. I'm like, dude, what the hell? And I'm thinking, I'm like, did the coach mess up, or was that him like, hey, I got this, I'm the leader, and then he just calls a stupid play? You think that was the coach, or you think that was him?
You'll be surprised how many players lose composure when pressure bust pipes. You know what I mean? Like,
he fell apart.
You definitely will see it, right? Like, hell, I mean, granted, you mentioned the playoff game last year. For the Chargers to be up by like 28, you know what I'm saying, to be up by so many points and then just to blow off the lead, there was no composure in that. Like it just seemed like the team that came out the first half was not the team that came out the second half, and there was nobody that could stop it, right? For example, you have situations like I think even last year with Dak Prescott. I don't know what he thought about doing when he ran up the middle like that. Clearly, him and the coach wasn't on the same page in the playoffs. But it's just always interesting, right? Because you can tell, I think it's 50-50, right? Like I think coaches like they'll tell them like, hey, you get in this moment, do this, or if this happened, do this. And then sometimes a quarterback can just be like, you know what, I'm just gonna go off muscle memory, and then they just break from it. And then we look at them like they crazy. And maybe the coach told them to do something different. And in that moment, they just froze up and did something else totally different. But yeah, I don't know. I think, like I said, I think like Brian said, I think Jacksonville would be okay. I just think it's just not their time yet to be in these certain conversations with teams yet. Right. You know what I mean? And just unfortunate that they got some people on their heels that probably like what they call it, fast forward they process, like in Houston, because give them boys a couple more years. Man, hell, maybe even next year they get a couple pieces. Not gonna lie. Yeah, they might be one of them ones because CJ Stroud, boy, like some of the throws he made. I'm like, dog, how you doing this as a rookie? Confident. Look. Yeah.
That's how I felt about Brock Purdy last year as a rookie, man. He
was
going crazy.
Gosh, bro. Jesus, you would okay. So clearly,
let's do the predictions.
Okay, Jesus, gosh, boy. Well, quick, 5 seconds. So he's your MVP as of today, right? He's your MVP as of today.
It's between him and McCaffrey. I would say Brock Purdy because most of the time it falls on the quarterback. All the wins and losses fall on the quarterbacks. So he's probably going to get most of the credit besides McCaffrey because, McCaffrey can like run and get touchdowns, but Brock Purdy does throw to him quite often too. So they might give him more credit just because of that.
So who do you think has more impact on the offense, Purdy or McCaffrey?
I think McCaffrey has more impact than Purdy does, but I think Purdy will get it just because he is the quarterback of the team.
Huh. Ron?
Co-MVP. I think Purdy and McCaffrey both get co-MVP. We haven't seen it since I want to say like the early 2000s, but I think it'll be a co-MVP.
I like that idea. It's not no disrespect to Purdy because I think Purdy has a right foot right in his own right. I mean, he literally is top 3 in every quarterback stat, right? And I know I talk much about Purdy, but at the end of the day, bro, like he still got to go out there and do the job, right? Like every week, week in and week out, he's giving you 3 or 4 touchdowns. I feel like efficient, really not missing too many passes. I really like the fact either I don't know if it's because of Kyle Shanahan, but he really seems like he just plays within his game. He doesn't do nothing too crazy. He makes the smartest play every time. And I don't know if that's because of how Kyle Shanahan draws it up, but he really like he does not try to go anything outside of his character. You know what I'm saying? And with that offense, it's just bro, I wouldn't. It's a match made in heaven. It's crazy the lengths y'all had to go through to get to Mr. Irrelevant to be our quarterback, right?
Okay, so you could just say Brock Purdy's him. It's all good. Just say it.
No, he's not. He's really good though. He's really good. He's really good. He's really good. It's just man, I just would have never thought. I don't think anybody's seen him coming, but it's just like to see him play the way he do it, just be like, man, you would have fit. You were the perfect fit for them. You were clearly the perfect fit. And I was curious, I wonder who picked him to draft him. In that,
Brian
like, who? Huh?
Brian Griese, the quarterback coach.
Oh, that boy need a raise. I'm not gonna hold you. He for sure need a raise. Yeah. He for sure need a raise. Because I'm like, man, to go from trading all those draft picks for Trey Lance to go back to here, man, it's gonna be a hell of a story, however this turned out.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, go ahead, Will. Let's go ahead and get these predictions out the way, man. You know what I'm saying? Christmas Day matchup, blah, blah, blah. So, are we gonna count the Saturday games as well? Because I guess those are
so we got one Thursday game, we got 2 Saturday games, and we got 3 Monday games, 3 Christmas games.
Right. And then I ain't gonna talk about how you cheated. I ain't gonna talk about how you cheated.
Hey, look.
I ain't gonna talk about how you cheated.
Hey, you know,
and you put the Raiders on the thing, and you didn't make your picks until after the Raider game.
No, it wasn't after. It was like halfway through. But anyways,
they
don't count. They don't count.
Hey, look.
Thank you.
Hey, look. One of the weeks that you was out in the Philippines, I put all my picks up there. You didn't put anything. And I didn't count any of my wins on that week. So you're welcome.
You didn't?
No,
because you definitely did.
No. So the first week I put all my picks, and then you put your picks. The second week I put my picks. You didn't put nothing. So I just erased all mine.
Did you? I didn't see that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. See. Okay. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, so yeah, we're gonna include all those games. We're gonna talk about all the other Sunday games. So I'll just tell you guys who's playing in the game. You guys tell me who's gonna win, and then I'll put down that team for your prediction for week 16. All right. So Thursday night we got Saints at Rams. Who's gonna win that game?
LA. The Rams.
I got LA. The Rams. The Rams been cooking lately. Yeah. I think they've hit their stride, especially with Cooper Kupp. That wide receiver core, they are nasty. I seen them live and direct while watching the Ravens games. Matthew Stafford, I ain't gonna lie, you might not want to leave. They got a nice little young core over there that you could probably rack up some more yards with.
He's still good.
Yeah, I'm saying he's still legit, but it was just like I was watching them. I'm like, yo, they was really moving down the field on it. They put up 30 points. I'm like, yo, y'all really like that now. Okay.
And the Rams is doing good now.
They're really good. They're really good, man. So I got the Rams. I think the Saints 7-7 don't really explain their season in a nutshell. Like I think they've had one of the weirdest years, especially with quarterback play. It's surprisingly that they're 7-7, but that whole NFC South division has been disgusting.
Yeah, no. It's been bad for the Saints. Yeah, no, the Rams are they're a great team now. Like they just got their stuff back together. So, and it's at home. Like you can't pick against them. All right, next game we got Saturday. It's the Bengals at the Steelers.
Let you go first, Ron.
Give me the Steelers. I think Jake Browning's it's over. His run is over. Also, Jamar Chase is potentially up in the air. He's questionable this week. I don't know if he's going. Not that you need him when you got guys like T. Higgins doing what he did last week, but
that's crazy.
But I got the Steelers though this week. I still like the Steelers defense a lot, even though I know they have some offensive struggles. I'm not a Kenny Pickett fan at all. I think he is absolutely terrible. But they have a really good defense, so I can see the Steelers pulling out. Where's that though?
At Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I got Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think I got Cincinnati. I think I like what I'm seeing from Jake Browning. I think he's definitely shown that he's a very competent backup. Especially after last week, he definitely had a nice game. Like you said, Jamar Chase is definitely up in the air, but if you got you got Higgins, I think he'll be all right. I just think that I think for me, I think the Steelers, I think they quit on Tomlin. Like that offense.
This is gonna be his first season where he's like not at least 50, right?
Nah, I think he still got a chance. I mean, obviously they're 7-7. So I mean, if he wins,
but like if they start losing.
Well, I mean, it just depends. I mean, he can still finish on a red record. I don't think that changes, but I don't know, man. I just feel like they quit on him, especially that offense. This is the worst offense I think we've seen in Pittsburgh in a long time. Like they wide receivers don't want to run routes, they don't want to block. They're not getting nothing from their running backs. I don't know what's going on with Najee over there. They just can't. They can't move the ball for real, and it's just really sad to see. So. I think the Bengals will win just off that. I think if Browning could if Browning could give them 14, 17 points, they win that game. The Steelers ain't giving you nothing offensively. I'm gonna be honest. So if you can give me 14, 17 points, I think that's enough to beat the Steelers. But it's a divisional matchup. You never know what happens. It's always a shit show, especially in the AFC North. Shit, we lost to the Steelers at the crib, so you just never know. George Pickens may have 2 tugs for 130.
Yeah. I think Browning's been playing really good. He's got a lot of confidence right now, so and the Steelers just ain't there.
Shout out to backup quarterbacks, man. They've been having some couple of these backup quarterbacks throughout the year, but having some good games. But shout out to the backup quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? They've been out here.
Shout out Drew Lock. Shout out Drew Lock.
Shout out Drew Lock, man. You know what I'm saying? We didn't get to talk about him, man.
That was crazy.
Drew Lock, you know what I'm saying, man? Look, at the end of the day, Philly is just they got some soul searching to do because they are playing the worst at the worst time. Like this is not a time where you need to be struggling winning games. This is the time where everything need to be tuned in or like you need to be turning it up. They look like they got real internal issues going on, and I don't know how this gonna end, bro. I'm gonna be honest, don't let them play the Rams first round. Yeah. I promise you, I'm picking the Rams, but I think they can go home early this year by how they playing. I'm not liking what I'm seeing at all from them these past couple weeks. But go ahead.
All right. Next game, we got Bills at Chargers.
Bills. They too high right now. Chargers, they packed it in this season. I think they quit just like the Steelers, if you ask me. I think they're done.
Yeah, no, Chargers.
They're
not there anymore. So no. Definitely not them. All right. Then we got, Sunday night? Sunday night, Patriots at Broncos.
Denver. I mean, I think the Patriots are struggling, all around, especially with their quarterback play right now. They're just a really young team too, I believe, but they haven't really been competitive all year. I think the Broncos are still playing for something. I picked them early in this year to have a better year than they did last year, which I think they are. But
yeah, they are. They got 7-7. I think they was at this point. I think they was like 4-13 or 4-9 or something like that. Yeah, they were bad.
Yeah, they competing right now. I know they had a letdown against the Lions recently, but I think other than that, they've been playing good ball. So I'll take Denver.
Okay, bad. I'm on the same boat. I think the Broncos. I think they hit a decent little stride as of lately, right? I think the defense been playing really well. Russell Wilson finally figured out who he was as a quarterback. I don't know what was going on last year, but he got back in his little mojo. I think he's still probably on the back end past his prime as far as performance wise, but he's still one of the better quarterbacks in the league. So, and New England, I mean, obviously is Bill Belichick, so the defense gonna always be there, but offensively, yeah, I can't name 2 people on their roster. I'm gonna be honest.
I don't trust the Patriots right now. Patriots are horrible right now. So
I'm cool.
Not even going on that. All right, cool. Mondays. All right. Well, we got Ravens and Niners. We already said that. And then we got Raiders versus the Chiefs. This is a hard one because the Raiders usually beat the Chiefs, even if the Chiefs are like a good team.
Where's the game at?
It's Kansas City.
It's in Kansas City. Yeah, Raiders at Chiefs.
The Chiefs have to win this game.
They have to.
They do.
They have to win this game. Not more or less. I think for them to win a division, but because I think if the Broncos win, then yeah, they still kind of will have to win this game. But I think just from this is the Chiefs just don't look the same. Like they just don't look the same. And obviously, obviously with a change of coaching, a change of pay calling, they definitely don't look as confident, in certain things. It's just the wide receivers is just underperformed all year. Just too many drops. A young core that's just very unproven. The trade they made for Tony is probably not. I mean, you kind of scratch your head now, right? I think last year it was like, okay, maybe you've seen something, but now it's just like, all right, bro, you're just not that good.
Yeah.
And then you look at everywhere else, and they're trying to scrap for any wide receiver production anywhere, and they're just not really getting it. And it's literally like Mahomes, like, bro, you got to figure this out. So, and it's crazy, right? You still think that just Pat Mahomes good enough to should still be able to beat the Raiders, but I don't know. I'm gonna pick them though. I'm gonna pick the Chiefs, but man, that's one of the ones where it's like, maybe.
Yeah, no, I think Mahomes is gonna have to like pull it out of his hat this time because it's like they got to make playoffs.
Game. It's going to be a nasty game. It's going to be like 20, 21-17. Luckily, the Chiefs' defense is legit. I think their defense is pretty solid.
Yeah.
That's what's going to help them. Like, because if their defense was like any other ones from the previous years, cooked. But this has probably been one of their better years defensively. So, even though the Raiders had a great game against the Chargers, I don't expect them to put up 62 again. But, I definitely don't expect them to put 0. So I'm going to give them 14. I think the Chiefs win 24-14, something like that, maybe 21-17 along them lines, and they keep it pushing.
I'm sure Taylor Swift's gonna be there, so they're gonna win just because of that. So
right. I don't know.
Ron, who you got?
24-21 Raiders. I think the Raiders are riding high. They're confident right now. I think the coach got them right, and I think where the Chiefs are struggling, this is just a bad time to meet the Raiders. Like we've said, the Raiders always play the Chiefs well. It's always a really good game. Even in the Raiders down years, even the years the Raiders win 1 or 2 games, they play
always a good game. Yeah. Yes, it's always a good game.
They hate them.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think they're clicking on all cylinders on offense, and the Chiefs are sputtering on offense. So I think it's a perfect storm for the Raiders to pull a weird one out on the road. And I think after this week, we're going to have some real conversations about what KC is showing up to the playoffs this year. It's going to get interesting. But I do got the Raiders this week.
Man, I feel like the house looking, they might not. At this point, they might not, but we'll see, man. We will see.
All right, so last game that we got to talk about, Giants at the Eagles. And Ron, don't ask me where they playing at. I just said it's at the Eagles.
Got you.
I did it, man. Philly, please. Like, let me know.
They gotta break that.
Let me know that. Show me that this is. I mean, obviously it's a Giants, so I'm expecting y'all to win. But like, I just need it. Just you ever seen a team that play like they're not playing to win? They're just trying not to lose, and that's what it feel like Philly is right now. I feel like they're walking on eggshells with themselves. Like they're not confident in their own like ability right now, and it just seems like I think like Justin Hurts, like he seemed like he's second guessing himself a lot. He don't seem as confident when he throw the ball. He's forcing stuff that he wasn't, doing previous years. And I don't know if because of how they're trying to do the offense now, it just seems like he's playing not up to his standards. And that defense, if we just being honest, that defense is just inconsistent. They just not the same defense as previous years. And I think that a lot of these losses has come from their defense has not been able to save them as much as they wanted to. And then it's crazy. They signed Shaquille Leonard, and I see the clip earlier today. He might need to pack it up. I'm not gonna lie. He might need to pack it up. And the running back cut right, and he looked at him and then waited till he went past him to turn and then run with him. And it's like, yeah, you just can't move no more. Yeah. It's time for you to get rid of it. So I don't know, man. I think the Eagles, this is a must win for them too. It's just because at this point, it's a psyche thing. Like you got to get this losing mentality at your head. Like, okay, y'all not that bad. I know y'all didn't gave up a couple games, y'all done lost a couple games, but don't lose to the Giants with a third string quarterback that was out here, at a pizza parlor earlier today, out here being a guest. Like you can't lose to that. Jalen Hurts, you can't, because then You just can't. You just can't. I got the Philly. You just can't. I can't see it. Can't see it.
Ron.
Philly, and I think it won't be close. I think Philly has something to prove this week, and I think they're lucky they're playing against the Giants. The Giants are terrible, but it's also a division game, so it could be closer than we think. But I do think that Philly will figure it out this week. They need to get angry. They're not playing angry enough. They're playing, like they still only have one loss this season. Like they not too long ago, they was almost undefeated with only one loss to the Jets, on top of the world, thinking they cruise into a Super Bowl. And I think they've been brought back down to earth. They need to get confident. They need to get cocky again, and they need to just ball. They just haven't been balling. So I think they get back to that this week. Because if not, it's gonna get ugly.
Ugly. Definitely. Like I said, bro, because the Cowboys, I think, do they play? They don't play this week, do they? They got a bye week this week? Cowboys don't play this week. They got a bye. That's kind of late. They got one that's late. But I'm just saying, like, they got to mess around and play a wild card game. And like I said, bro, you don't want to get caught in this kerfuffle with these other teams in NFC that's hungry right now. Like, LA is hungry. Let them get in. They to me, they low-key like Buffalo. Nobody want to play them two teams right now because the Rams is flying under the radar. But they here too. They watching. So Philly better figure this out, man. Because they can literally be one and done. And it's gonna be embarrassing. Y'all gonna walk to the Super Bowl at that point. I'm not gonna lie.
We would,
y'all just walk to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be sad.
All right, man. Well, that's the predictions. So we all good to go. That's the episode. Appreciate you, Ron, for hopping on with us. And Eric. Eric said he had to leave real quick. He forgot he had to pick up his son at football practice. So
oh man,
he had to dip real quick.
No, he did not forget to pick up his kid. Ball is life, I guess, huh? Ball is life is crazy.
Basically. But yeah, man, that's been another episode of the Fourth Rounders. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Help us get our subscribers up, all that stuff. And go leave some comments. We love talking to you guys. I know, we have to go look and see if there's comments because I haven't checked it out in a while. But we're gonna go see if there's some comments so we can answer some questions y'all got. But yeah, just look out for some more content coming out soon. And
before we leave, Ron, I appreciate you. Nice meeting you for the first time. You know what I'm saying? Likewise. I hope I get to see you on here more, dog. I rock with you. I rock with you. If there anything like as far as like, you got anything going as far as like, where can they follow you if you want to, put your stuff out there, the floor is yours.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate being on, man. So me, nothing really to plug. I mean, I guess I race, I race cars, I drag race right now, looking to get into some other type of racing real soon. Follow me on Instagram at Ron B Racing. So just like it sounds, RON B Racing. So that's check me out. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be leaving comments sometimes, especially when Will say.
Yeah. Okay. Got you. Okay. 2 + 2 = 4. Yeah. Got you.
Yeah. So y'all check me out if you want to. If you're into racing, so I'm in all types of sports. So for sure. Thanks for having me.
That's all good, man. It's all good. Well, all right, man. Well, you got anything to say? No.
Bang bang, not a gang. Now that Eric's not here, I can say bang bang, not a gang.
That's
y'all
crazy.
Gotta find out, please.
All right, man. Hey, okay, hold on, wait. Oh, damn, good. Never mind. Cause I was gonna say, you want to make a bet real quick?
No, deuces.
Damn. All right, deuces.